Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. Another mass shooter. But this time, police have identified the shooter as Seth Ator. This article comes from Heavy.com. It says 5 facts you need to know about this guy. Now, this is the same guy that I've been reported. And in the past I've reported thought it was two shooters, but again, it's according to it's only one shooter that shot an Odessa. Shot people in Odessa and shot people in Midland, and one of the casualties is a postal worker. So I'm gonna go ahead and read this article from Heavy.com. It says Seth Ator has been identified as the accused gunman who was shot and killed by police after a rampage in Odessa and Midland, Texas, according to the Odessa Police Department. Police said Ator, 36, was taken down by officers at a clergy movie complex in Odessa. The incident began around 3:15 p.m. local time on Saturday, August 31st, as an attempted traffic stop along Interstate 20. Police had originally been looking for two potential gunmen, but after Ator was shot, officials stated that there was no longer a threat of an active shooter. Investigators now say they are confident Ator acted alone. 7 victims were killed in Saturday's rampage, plus the shooter, according to federal officials. More than 20 others were injured, 7 critically. 3 law enforcement officers who were injured, including the state trooper who was shot during this traffic stop, are expected to recover. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you like this. Now, we've been dealing with mass shooters. We haven't been dealing a lot of mass shooters for a while now. More than a while, actually. And, people ain't taking this stuff very seriously. Like, they're always cracking down black on black crime or black identity extremists or what's going on in Chicago. But they already ignoring mass shooters. And I told you before, ladies and gentlemen, that I told you these are white supremacist terrorists, sleeper cells that carry out these attacks across this country. If it's not with mass shootings, if it's knife attacks. So, this isn't a surprise to me. The thing of it is that he stole this postal truck to do more shootings, and it's ridiculous. So I'm going to go ahead and read this. This is 5 facts you need to know about this guy. Number 1, it says a neighbor said Seth Ator threatened her with a rifle weeks before the shooting. Another neighbor claimed Ator didn't bother anybody. So it says that Odessa Police Department has confirmed that the gunman in Saturday's shooting was Seth Aaron Ator of Odessa. FBI agents executed a search warrant at Ator's home on September 1st, KMID-TV reported. Property records in Ector County showed that Ator purchased a lot of Cavalli Circle in Odessa in January of 2018. The land has a market value of $9,260. The address listed on Ector County's website does not come up on Google Maps. Heavy reached out to a nearby business called JH Safety and Trucking to ask about Cavalli Circle and whether the area was commercial or residential. The man who answered the phone, who did not wish to be identified by name, described the street as a relatively new development in West Texas. He explained that the area had originally comprised of mobile homes, but the businesses have been moved in recently. The man confirmed that Seth Ator lived there, referring to Ator as his neighbor. He said the shooting had left him stunned because Ator had been a quiet person who didn't bother anybody. He indicated that Ator lived in a mobile home, but images shared from the property depict what looks to be some sort of shack or shed. So, and I'm going to stop you right there. You notice that every time there's a mass shooter, they're either quiet or don't bother anybody. And then some say he's a good person, he doesn't bother anybody. But it happens on every mass shooter, and look what happened. I told you, this is the work of a mass shooter, and it's not going to stop there. And it continues basically saying that he's a quiet person. He don't bother anybody. And you heard what another neighbor said, that he threatened to kill that other neighbor. So it's mixed messages when it comes to people that knows him. And I'm going to continue to read, and it said he further explained that Cavalli Circle has security cameras all over the yard, and that the FBI agents have asked him questions about Ator as they executed a search warrant. A second neighbor shared a very different memory of Ator. Veronica Alonso told CNN that Ator yelled at her a few weeks prior to the shooting for leaving trash in a nearby dumpster. Alonso said Ator approached her home while holding a rifle. She explained that she called police after that incident, but that no officers showed up due to the difficulty of finding the street. Okay. Alonso added that she had seen Ator fire his weapon at animals from his home at night. She also told CNN that Ator's home did not have running water or electricity, further evidence that Ator lived in a tin structure. And there's another one that says Seth Ator reportedly worked as a truck driver and previously failed a background check. Wow. Seth Ator reportedly worked as a truck driver. His neighbor told Heavy over the phone that Ator had a commercial license. We are working to independently confirm that information. A search of online records does not bring up any current licenses listed under Ator's name. The Texas Department of Public Safety is responsible for issuing commercial driver's licenses. Heavy reached out to the department, and we were told that all inquiries about Ator need to be directed to the Odessa Police Department. We have left a message with the OPD to obtain this information. There is one LinkedIn page with Ator's name attached to it. The account states that this person worked as a truck driver based in Midland, Texas. The listed company may have been a joke or intended to be sarcastic. The page lists Ator employer as Ator Sniffers. Ator also reported one failed background check when he was applied for a job. U.S. Representative Tom Craddock shared that information with the Midland Reporter-Telegram. This is also interesting, what I'm about to tell you. He had a criminal past. Interesting. Seth Ator pleaded guilty to criminal charges in the 2001 case. Odessa Police was asked during Sunday's press conference if the gunman had a prior arrest history. They answered at the time that the suspect had prior cases that had come up during the search of his driver's license. According to a statewide criminal history search on the Texas Department of Public Safety's website, Seth Ator was charged with criminal trespass on August 3rd of 2001 in McLenna County, Texas. It was a Class B misdemeanor. Interesting. He was then charged with a second offense for evading arrest. The records show that Ator is soon a guilty plea in February of 2002 and received a sentence of 24 months, of course, on probation. This site does not provide further details as to what prompted the arrest. I'm going to stop you right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, you see that he did have a criminal record. However, he didn't do any jail time. As other people, that's what I'm saying, white privilege. Basically, he do 24 months of probation. He never do any jail time. Now, if it was a black person do the exact same thing, he would have a criminal record, but he would do some time in jail. So this is not a surprise when it comes to white, come to mass shooters that gets away with stuff. It's white privilege. And some people will say, well, there's no such thing as white privilege. Well, you see all them mass shooters that did all these shootings, they either not go to jail or do a probation or even if it was jail time, it may do like 5 days, probably a month in jail at least. It's really nothing. So, again, they gave this man a slap in the wrist, in other words. If it was a black man, he would have still be in jail. He wouldn't even could think about doing a mass shooting. But this is what America is about. it's when it comes to white people, they give them white privilege, and this is the perfect example right there. Okay, continue on. The case was listed as a deferred adjudication. I'm sorry, I'm just pronouncing it. Adjudication in the state of Texas is a type of probation in which the conviction is kept off defendant's criminal record. Again, white privilege. Nothing surprised me. A search of Seth Ator's name on a separate national database does not bring up any past federal charges. Okay. Number 4. Seth Ator's family has deep Texas roots, and Ator reportedly graduated from Lorena High School in Central Eastern Texas in 2000. Seth Ator was originally from Central Eastern Texas, ABC affiliate KXXV TV cited. People who knew Ator while he was living in Lorena, the TV station reported that Ator graduated from Lorena High School in 2000. A search of Texas Birth Index showed that Ator was born on September 27, 1982. His parents was listed as Deborah Sue Warren and Dennis Kenneth Ator. Online records suggest that Ator's father is based in San Antonio while his mother lives in Amarillo. Ator's parents were married in 1978 and divorced in 1987, according to records via the Texas Department of State Health Services. According to Ancestry, the Ator family has long roots in Texas. Records show that Ator also has one sister, Issa Brian Ator, who passed away in 2015, according to this notice in the Daily Court Review. So they tell you, they give you an example of their family history and where they're originally from. So in other words, the parents is from Texas. Basically, there's no like I said, one of the parents. Her sister passed away in 2015, according to this article, and basically it's just the mother and father there, and they were divorced. They went their separate ways. One lives in Amarillo, and the father, lives in San Antonio. So here's the fifth one. Seth Ator was armed with an assault-style rifle in his vehicle. Police said the shooting began during a traffic stop on Interstate 20 westbound near mile marker 131. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, the driver was in a gold vehicle. The car was still moving when the gunman, now identified as Seth Ator, pointed a rifle toward the rear view of his car and fired several shots towards the DPS patrol unit. Officials shared during a press conference Sunday afternoon that the weapon was an AR-style rifle. You notice that most mass shooters use AR-15 rifles, so this also not a surprise. Continue on. One of the two troopers was shot and Ator sped away from the scene. Police had confirmed that Ator was pulled over for a traffic violation, specifically for a failure to signal. Officials added that there was not an active warrant for Ator at the time of the traffic stop. Odessa Police said Ator continued to fire from his moving vehicle at random people as he drove through Midland and Odessa. I'm going to stop you right there. It seems to me that he did a drive-by shooting. You know, when you have gang members do drive-by shootings or drug dealers shooting each other doing drive-bys, at least it seems to me that this guy, Ator, doing drive-by shootings at police officers. And this is according to Heavy.com. So I'm going to continue reading. It said he shot a civilian at East Loop 338 and I-20, then headed through the city of Odessa and keep firing. So in other words, he's just doing drive-bys on everybody, and killing half of the people that he shot. So this is, again, it shows that this man is a mass shooter and he's crazy. But other mass shooters, how they walk in buildings or businesses, open fire. This guy doing drive-bys. He just drove by and start shooting at people. So let's continue on. It says Odessa Police Chief Michael Girk explained that Ator abandoned his original vehicle and hijacked, and this is what's so crazy about him, and hijacked a United States Postal Service mail truck. The mail carrier who had been operating the truck was identified as Mary Granados. She was shot and killed. Ator then made his way toward a movie complex called Synergy on Highway 191 in Odessa. Officers cornered him in a parking lot at the theater. A gunfight ensued, and Ator was shot and killed by officers at the scene. And there's some tweets from David Bernard explaining the entire situation. It says, sad, a woman weeps as she lay in the field with others around her. Dozens of rounds of gunfire can be heard in the distance. She tweeted, one of the scariest things ever to hear and be so close to a shoot. Excuse me. So glad they shot him dead. Hashtag Odessa shooting. So they showed a picture of a Twitter from David Bernard of the incident. Odessa Police Chief Michael Girk initially confirmed Saturday evening that at least 5 people were dead in the shooting rampage and at least 20 people had been injured. Overnight, the death toll rose to 7 victims plus the shooter. It was confirmed early Sunday that a high school student, Leila Hernandez, was among those killed. Tributes to her and the other victims are available here. The injured, including a baby girl named Anderson Davis. She was struck in the face by a bullet fragment and is recovering. Police confirmed that 3 members of law enforcement were among those hurt, including a Midland officer, an Odessa officer, and a trooper from the Department of Public Safety. The chief said that their injuries were non-life-threatening. The Midland officer was identified as Zach Owens. He was shot multiple times in the arm and hand. The CEO of Medical Center Health Systems, Russell Tippin, explained that area hospitals remain on lockdown Saturday evening as a precaution. The immediate investigation on August 31st was fluid and appeared to be chaotic. Initial reports began with witnesses describing on social media that they had seen a gunman open fire along I-20 between Odessa and Midland. The Midland Police Department later confirmed that they were looking for 2 suspects. They believe one was driving a small gold-colored Toyota vehicle, while the second was driving a stolen mail truck. Police warned that one suspect was believed to be at a clergy in Midland, and the other was believed to be driving on Loop 250 in Midland. However, it turns out that Seth Ator was acted alone. Chief Geck told reporters that there was no additional victims after Ator was shot and killed at a clergy, leading police to conclude that the threat was over and that there was only one shooter. I'm going to stop you right there. So, you notice that the Midland Police Department, and I reported that on my videos, that reports that there was 2 shooters, but it turns out it was only Seth Ator who was acted alone during the shooting, and it was a drive-by shooting. And then, remember, he was at a movie theater, and then that's when a gun battle ensued. And that's when Seth Ator was shot and killed instantly with his gun battle. But, you know, he took a lot of victims with him. You know, he shot a police officer. He shot and killed a postal worker. He shot I think a little girl, if I'm not mistaken. So he been shooting. He been basically hijacked. They know they're looking for a gold car. So he came out and he hijacked a mail truck, and he continued to start shooting at people. So, and I'm going to continue reading this. It's a tweet from Denise Perez. It says, my boss just got shot at on Tangible and Maple. Please, guys, stay off the roads at Central Odessa. Be safe. And I'm going to continue reading this. It said, the Midland Police also responded to a report of an active shooting at a Home Depot in Odessa. Officers urged people to avoid the area while the threat was investigated and to remain inside their homes. As the afternoon continued, the attention was focused on the clergy movie theater and the report of a possible second suspect driving a gold-colored truck. Police did not issue updates about the Home Depot aspect, but a spokesperson for Home Depot later confirmed to Heavy that there was not a shooting in our store in Odessa or Midland. So the rampage in Odessa and Midland marks the second mass shooting in Texas within the space of just 4 weeks. The attack in El Paso, in which a gunman claimed the lives of 22 people at a Walmart, happened on August 3rd. Federal officials were offering their assistance as local police began the in-depth investigation into the deadly shootings in western Texas. The ATF shared the agents from its Dallas office were responding, as well as agents from the FBI Dallas office. On Sunday morning, President Trump praised law enforcement and first responders in Texas. He also denounced the gunman as another very sick person. Vice President Pence spoke with reporters Saturday night and stressed that full resources of the federal government were on site in Texas to offer assistance. Other politicians weigh in on the attack. Senator John Cornyn of Texas posted online, "Tonight we are one with the entire Midland Odessa community, especially the victims of this horrific tragedy. I want to thank law enforcement and first responders for their courage in an impossible situation." Former San Antonio mayor and presidential candidate Julian Castillo called the strengthening gun laws in an interview with MSNBC. And this is a tweet from a politician, Beto O'Rourke, says that we don't know how many have been killed. We don't know the motivation, but here's what we do know. This is fucked up. That's according to Senator Beto O'Rourke out of Texas. Presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke, who was from El Paso area and was especially vocal after the mass shooting there earlier in August, didn't hold back about Odessa either. He posted a video of himself speaking to a group of voters in Virginia in which he stated, "We don't know the motivation, but here's what we do know. This is fucked up." And that's the end of the article, ladies and gentlemen. So the guy who did the shooting, I reported that it was two shooters, and it turns out it was this shooter had acted alone. So, he did a drive-by in 2 different towns. He did it in Odessa and in Midland. And it claims 20 people have been injured. 7 people 7 people have been killed, 20 people have been injured in the shooting. And this guy is crazy, ladies. This guy is just crazy. He basically abandoned his vehicle, as you know, and then he killed a postal worker and hijacked her postal truck, and did multiple shootings until he went to the movie theater. So this guy, Seth Ator, who was 30, he's in his 30s now. Well, was in his 30s because he was dead. But he basically had a criminal past, but they swept that situation under the rug. So realistically, guys, Seth Ator, he was basically a criminal. Again, some say he was quiet, he was nice. One neighbor said he threatened this neighbor for the trash situation. So, ladies and gentlemen, it shows that this guy is crazy. And again, I wouldn't even be surprised. He's a Trump supporter. I wouldn't be surprised with that because most mass shooters are Trump supporters. So leave a comment. Tell me what you think about this story. Like, click, subscribe, and remember to click the notification bell for all the news and commentary. With that being said, this is Lions Den signing off. Deuces.